They say dating is hard out here. Well, that's what we've seen online, whether it's men, women, whoever, right? We've seen online generally, the perception is dating is hard out here. So, there's one lady that went on a date. She's been online for a number of years. I want to play a video of hers before I play this video that she went on a date with. But I want to play a video 3 years ago of her mentality and some of her viewpoints about her perception on things, put it this way, right? And her perception on a certain demographic. But I'll play the second video, the one I want to react to in relation to her encounter when she went on this date. And we'll get into that. But like the video, because we're breaking down stuff here on this channel. Like the video. And let's get into the first video from 3 years ago that gives you a perception and an understanding of where she stands on things and how she thinks. Then I'm going to play, like I said, that second video of her encounter when she went on a date.
Fully aware that I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am so effing tired of the amount of emotional labor that comes with dating black men. I am so tired of the lack of commitment, the lack of support, the lack of encouragement, the lack of money. Like, I don't know what to do from this point on, but I can tell you one thing. My interest in dating another black man is like 1% at this point.
With that video, that's all that's required. That's all you need to see. There was more, but that's the main gist of it, right? Now I'm going to play the second video of this same lady 3 years later of her encounter on a date with a person. It will give you an understanding of the encounters she faces. And I'm going to explain why. I think she comes in contact with certain encounters that in her eyes don't make sense.
I just walked out of a date. You want to know why? Of course you do. Because what else do you want to hear about on a Tuesday afternoon? Happy Black History Month, by the way. So basically, we were talking about racism. Yes, he's a white man.
He's a white guy, yeah? Okay. Remember the first video about her perception about black men. Now she went on a date with a white guy. Let's see the sort of conversation that took place, and let's see if what she's getting is part and parcel of how she thinks. Let's see. Let's just see. You know, let's see if these encounters are just by chance. Let's see.
He was telling me about how he has a bunch of black friends and they don't really bring up racism. And I was like, oh, well, it's likely that they just don't talk about it around you. They don't feel comfortable talking about it with you, or they don't want to offend you or whatever. Like, it's not that they never talk about it or think about it. And he was like, well, I highly doubt that. I think that they just don't really think about it. And I'm like, you can't speak for them. You can't speak on their experience. And I said something like, black people that try to deny racism and deny the black experience in order to appeal to white acceptance, you know, we call them coons, and that's very embarrassing. And he was like, that's racist. And I was like, that's not racist. I'm black, for one. I'm saying about other black people. And he's like, yeah, but that's pretty bad. That's pretty much like me saying that someone with mental disabilities is the R word, but he said the actual word. And I was like, that is not the same thing.
These conversations that this lady is having, it just shows you, in my opinion, see what she said in the first one and now see the encounter of the second, and then see the sort of dialogue that's taking place. Is this somebody that is showing that she should be having somebody that is clued up, that is on the same page as her, that doesn't have the mentality like she had in the first video, doesn't have these perceptions? Is she showing, if you're just a neutral viewer of this video, is she showing that she needs to get somebody that is of a certain level and standard and thought process? Is she showing that that is something that she should get? just based on her perception of what she said at the start in the first video, then her encounter with this person, white guy, in the second video. Is there a potential that men are sensing, seeing a demeanor, seeing things that don't align, and not going to try and get her? The men of a certain standard. Mentally, I'm talking about standard. Because her mentality from the first video suggests she's only looking at things from a race standpoint, thinking that's the reason why she can't get a man, a black man. She can't get him to do what she wants. And she's accounting that to black men. As in blanket statement. So that's basically saying that's all you're getting and that's all that's out there. It's showing naivety. So why should somebody who thinks from that perspective get somebody that is clued up, someone that has what she believes she wants? The actions, the mentality is not showing that she should be getting somebody that has this, that has sense. Because you have now looked at a certain demographic of men and said, black men are such and such in a disparaging way. Fine. Why should now a good black man that exists go and get somebody like this? Why? What is the benefit for him if this is her mentality? Now, the second video with the white guy. Met a white guy. Cool. She thought, I believe, let me try the white guys. Because in the first instance, black men are such and such. They're not this, they're not that. I'm tired. The ones you picked, the ones you accepted, the advances that you only were getting, you accepted, fine. Let me try the white guy. You did it on Black History Month. Doesn't matter. Even if you did it before Black History Month, this still would have been an issue. Because at the end of the day, you had a conversation that took place that you believed wasn't right. He didn't think a certain way. That's what you thought. But why is it that you're getting that kind of guy? You believe his mentality is off on things. Wasn't your mentality off in that first video? These encounters aren't by chance, people. These encounters aren't by chance. Guys who are clued up, people who are clued up will see right through certain people. That's how life is. That's why certain people get in situations that aren't the right ones, and most or some other people don't get in those environments because they don't even allow certain vibes, certain people to be around them because they know the issues that can take place. And this is a prime example of someone, unfortunately, who doesn't think the right way. And this is the reason why she's getting these results. This is not really about the white guy and the fact that he was having friends that he doesn't speak about, you know, black stuff with or racism. This is not really what I want to pinpoint about the fact that the white guy doesn't speak to his black friends about issues and racial issues. It's just about the person, the woman's mentality. And when women complain about stuff, they're not thinking, am I even thinking right? Do I have the right disposition to be able to get what I want? Is my demeanor, energy, what I say, how I say it, my ideology on things, is that giving me the opportunity to get what I want? Why should a guy, like I said, have some sense who doesn't think from this perspective, sees people and makes assessments based on what they are doing as a whole, as in sees what this person, it could be black, white, blue, green. A person, let's just say a man, assess people based on their character and what they are doing. First, why should that guy go with somebody who thinks like that person, who seems to just put black people in a box and says, this is what the black men are about? What is the benefit for that guy to get with somebody like this who thinks from that perspective? That's my question. When you complain, you have to look at what potentially am I doing, or are you that unaware? And if that's the case, and if you never come to a realization, that's on you. And that is a potential. You may not come to a realization that you are contributing to the issues that you face in the dating world. To the person that has, a certain mentality, will be able to see the correlation between the two to say that, oh, no wonder you're having these encounters. How you think is off initially. You think you're good. That's the problem. Everybody thinks sometimes they're in the state that they need to be in mentally. They think they are clued up, or they think they know what they know. You do know what you know. But are you showing you're aware when it comes to what is important about how you think? Can you take ownership maybe? Can you do that self-work that's required? Because this woman has showed, in my humble opinion, a lack of understanding. A lack of understanding. Because if one race of men is not working there, you claim, another race is not working. When do you start looking at yourself? When do we start getting just realistic? Wow, I'm not getting nowhere with this person and with that person, and they're both different races. Oh man, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Like, you got to question it like that. You got to be honest with yourself. I question my life. I question myself to take stock of what, I'm doing. This is not about being, perfect. It's just about using this. And then once you use this in a certain way, you will get guys, or in this case, for her, she would want a guy. You will get guys that will be receptive to the energy, because we're not as stupid as women think. We're not as dumb. We observe demeanors, everything, tones, we see it. And if you're getting guys that you believe, like this guy, wasn't up to it, having menial conversations, having back and forths about stuff that is a waste of time. You're in waste of time situations, but there's a reason for that. The mind is not where it needs to be. You need to do some work. Only because you can gain knowledge once you do the work to be able to move better. This is all about gaining knowledge, taking stock of yourself and saying, look, I need to change my mentality. And I hope 3 years ago, that video, she's changed now, but the way she speaks here suggests she's still not in the zone she needs to be in. And there's plenty of people like this. And this is where they go wrong in the dating world. And this is where they go wrong when they blame men, because there are men who will be unprepared, untoward, not right. But why is it you keep accepting those advances? And the person you want, it will be pointless they come to you in this state that you're currently in. Pointless. Because the mentality is not indicative of somebody to build with. Because you're already going in with a trauma-ridden existence based on what you said in that first video. And in the second video, you had an expectancy for this person, a white guy, to maybe have something better. You can get bad bunches or ones you don't want in each background, race, doesn't matter. You need to check the character. You need to check your mentality and character. Then, once you can assess it, do better, you can then hopefully get somebody better. Because as far as I'm concerned, someone that is clued up, like I said, will not go with you. Simple as that. You may get a simp that will try and work through these things. If you want a good guy, generally, you got to work on yourself to get the sort of responses, energy, person you need. But let me know what you guys think. Ladies, you got to look into it. You got to look into it. If you want something better, you've just got to be able to think better. And in this regard, she's not showing she's in the right state to get what's better.